Yeah. So in last session, we have seen what is meant by list and how to create a list and how to perform the slicing operation in lists. And we have started the built-in methods available in lists. And we have seen already two methods. One is append and second one we have seen count. Am I right? We have seen only two functions. Am I right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So now today we will see some more built-in methods which are going to use on lists. Okay. So before that, yesterday we have seen two ways of creating a list. Am I right? One is directly we can write the list variable that equal to some set of values. Or if you want to read the list elements from the keyboard, we can use the for loop and we can use the append function. Okay. There is a another way for creating lists, that is we can write like this. List variable is equal to, we have to use the list function where you can pass some set of elements. Okay, whatever the elements you want to store, you can pass here. Then that list function will create the list also. This is another way of creating a list. Okay. Then the third function is insert function. The third function is insert function. This function purpose is to insert a new element at the specified index value. At the specified index value, if you want to add the new element. Whereas this append method, yesterday we have seen, this append method always adds the element at the end of the list. For the existing list, already we have existing list. Through that, if you want to add the element at the end, you have to use append function. Ala kakunda, if you want to insert a new element at the specified index value, then you have to use this insert function. Okay. So the syntax of this insert function is insert of index comma element. Here we are passing two parameters. The first parameter is index. The second parameter is element here. Whatever the element you want to insert as a new element into the list, that you can pass a second parameter, and where you want to insert, that is the location, we can pass as a first parameter, that is the index value here. Okay. So we can pass index as well as element here. Let me show you with the execution. So I am opening my online compiler. Yeah. Yeah. See here. Suppose I'm having L1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm having 5 elements. Now I'm writing L1 dot insert of, which I am passing two parameters. That means 2 comma, suppose I'm writing 6. Okay. That means at index value 2, I want to place the element 6 here. So similar to our arrays, here also index starting from 0 onwards. This is at location 0, 1 is at, 2 is at location 1, 3 is at location 2, this is 3, this is 4. Okay. So if I inserted 6 at 2, that means 1, 2, after that 6 will be added. Okay. That means the new list will be 1, 2, 6, 3, 4, 5. See the output here. At second position, 6 will be added. Okay, is the output is visible to you? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you see the output, this here, 6 is inserted at second position. Remaining elements are shifted towards right side automatically. So remaining elements are as it is, but at second position, the element 6 will be added. Like that, if you want to add any new element at the specified index value, you can go for insert function. Okay. Then there is a one more function called as extend function. Okay, there is a one more function called as extend function. So generally by using this append function, we are adding one element at the end. Am I right? We are adding one element at the end. Ala kakunda, if you want to add, this function adds another list of elements, another list of elements at the end of the list. Okay, at the end of one list, if you want to add another list of elements, you are going to use extend function. Okay, this function will take one parameter, that is the list variable. Okay, so we can write extend bracket, we can write the list variable. That is the syntax of extend function. Okay, the purpose of extend function is to insert another list of elements at the end of the list. That means see here, here we have L1 equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Assume that we have L2, there may be 6, 7, 8. Okay, L1 contains 5 elements and L2 contains 3 elements. Now I am writing a L1 dot extend of L2. So that what happened here is L2 is appended. That means this list is added at the end of L1. Now L1 contains 8 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See here. The output is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are you getting my point? If you want to add single element at the end, you have to go for append function. If you want to add some list of elements at the end, you can go for extend function. If you want to add a single element at specified position, you can go for insert. So there are three ways of placing the elements in the what we call the list. Okay, is it clear? Yeah.
Yes,
Then next, there is a method called remove. Okay, there is a method called remove. This method is used to remove the element. Remove the remove the specified element. Remove the element by specifying the element. ఏ ఎలిమెంట్ డిలీట్ చేయాలో ఆ ఎలిమెంట్ ని యూ కెన్ పాస్ యాజ్ ఎ పారామీటర్ టు దిస్ remove function, so that that element will be removed from the list. Okay, remove bracket lo you can pass element, whatever the element you want to delete, you can pass as a parameter here. So if you see here, if I write the remove function like this, L1 dot remove of 4. So that what happened here is the element 4 is deleted. So now the list becomes only 1, 2, 3, 5. See here, 1, 2, 3, 5 here. Okay, so if you want to delete the specific element from the list, you can go for this remove method. Okay, then there is a one more function for deletion, that is pop function. Okay, there is a one more method called pop function for deleting the elements. Okay, this method is used to remove the element by specifying the index value. By specifying the index value, we are going to delete the element from the list. Earlier in remove method, we are specifying the element directly, but here we are going to specify pop of index value we are specifying. Okay, so that at that position, whatever the element is there, that element will be deleted. Okay. Then here, if you see, if I write pop of 4, that means at location 4, what is the element here? At location 4, what is the element according to this list? Hello?
5.
At location 4, what is the element? Anyone tell me?
5. 5, sir.
Yeah, 5. So that pop of 4 anagane 5 will be deleted. So we will get only 1, 2, 3, 4. See here. Okay. So sometimes you can write the pop function without parameters. That means simply you are not writing any index value. Simply you use pop, some empty parentheses. If you write pop method without index value, this will always remove the last element. Okay. If you are not specifying the index value in pop method, it always remove the last element from the list. So here I specify L1 dot pop. That means always the last element will be deleted. That means 5 will be deleted. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this will be very much useful when we are implementing stack using lists. Okay. Directly we can use the pop method directly. Okay. So at the pop method we can use in 2 different ways. One is by passing index value. Second one by passing either any index value. If you are not using any index value, it will remove the last element. If you pass index value, the element at that index will be removed from the list. Okay. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So other than this remove and pop method, you can write like this also. DEL is the one of the operation. That is not a method, that is the operation. Okay. DEL. If you want to delete 3 from the above list, then 3 is at location 2. So we can write DEL space L1 of 2. Okay. You can specify the index value like this also. DEL space L1 of 2. Then 3 will be deleted. You will get 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay. This is another option for deletion. Okay. You can use the DEL operation space. This is not a method. This is an operation. DEL space L1 of 2. Okay. And one more method called as clear method. There is a method called clear method. This will remove all the elements from the list at a time. All the elements from the list. Okay. If you want to remove all the elements at a time, you have to use clear function. So L1 dot clear anagane, all the 5 elements will be removed. So if you print L1, you will get an empty list. Only you will get empty square brackets. See the output here. You will get the empty square brackets here. Okay. So clear method always deletes the entire elements available in the list. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So there are 3 different ways of removing the elements from the list. Okay. Then the next function is reverse function. Next function is reverse. So this method reverses the elements, data elements available in the list. Okay. This method reverses the data elements available in the list. So here we can write L1 dot reverse. So you will get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See the output here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yesterday also we have seen the slicing operation. By performing slicing operation also you can print the elements in reverse order. How we can print? Print of
Using -1.
L1 square
Colon,
brackets
-1.
colon -1. Very good. If you write colon, you will get also 5 4 3 2 1. So either this way or you can use reverse method. You can get the reverse of the list. Okay. Then the next method is ninth method, that is called as what we called sort method. Okay. This method sorts all the elements in the list. That means in order to arrange the elements in the list in particular order, we are going to use this sort method. Okay, we can write like this, sort. Okay, so in order to arrange the elements in ascending order, we are going to use this sort method. Okay, here already these are in sorted order. So let me write in disorder 3 1 4 2 5. Okay, some order we are writing here. Then I can call L1 dot sort. Then I can print L1 here. Then I will get the sorted list of L1. That means we will get 1 2 3 4 5. See here. Okay, we will get 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there is a one more method. Hello. There is a one more method called as sorted. Okay, so this method, okay, or this operation returns a new sorted list. Okay, this operation returns a new sorted list. Okay, that means this operation does not modify the original list. Okay, whereas sort function always modify the original list. Okay, to which list you are applying sort function or sort method, the original list will be modified here. Whereas by using this sorted operation, it returns a new sorted list. Okay, the original list is not modified. Original list will be as it is. Okay, if you want to see here, L1 is equal to 3 1 4 2 5. Then I can call this one L2 is equal to sorted of L1. I'm writing. Okay, sorted of L1. This is not a function. This is an operation. That's why I'm not calling this one it's list object. That we can call sorted of L1 here. If I print L1, what it displays? If I print L1, what it displays?
3 1 4 2 5, sir.
Yeah, original list will be displayed as it is 3 1 4 2 5. If you print L2, that is our sorted list. We will get 1 2 3 4 5. See here. So this operation will return a new sorted list. It will not modify the original list. Okay. Are you getting? Like
Yes,
that we can
sir.
use either sort function or sorted operation. Okay, for sorting the list of elements. Okay. Then these are all functions, and there are some operations on lists. There are some predefined operations on lists. One is max operation, and second one is min operation, and third one is sum operation, and fourth one is length operation. These four operations, max, min, sum, and len, these four operations we are going to perform in almost all the four data structures available in Python language. That may be the lists, tuples, and what we call sets and dictionaries. In almost all four data types, we have to use these operations. Okay. So the purpose of this max operation is it will gives the maximum element available in the list. It will give the maximum element available in the list. What we can write is here max of, we can write the list variable, so that this will give the maximum element available in the list. Similarly, the min operation always gives the minimum element available in the list. That also we can write like this, min of list variable. Similarly, sum means it will give the sum of all the elements. Sum of all the elements available in the list. Sum of all the elements available in the list. We can write sum of, same syntax for all operations, sum of list variable. Similarly, length will give the length of the string. Sorry, the length of the list. That means gives how many number of elements available in the list. Okay, it gives number of elements available in the list. That is the length of the list here. Okay, like that we can use the all these four operations: max, min, sum, and length. Okay, so let me show you with example here. So directly I can write first I can write print of max of L1. Okay, I am printing the maximum element available in the list, and I am printing min of L1, and I am printing sum of L1, and I am printing length of L1. Okay, I am printing maximum element, minimum element, sum of all elements, and length of the list. See here, maximum element is 5, minimum element is 1, sum of all these 5 elements is 15, and length of the list is 5. We have only 5 elements here. Like that you can find out the maximum element, minimum element, sum of all elements, and you can find out the length of the list also. Okay. Okay now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And in order to concatenate two lists, we use plus operator. In order to concatenate the two lists, we are going to use plus operator. Concatenation means adding one list at the end of another list. Already we have one function for this, that is the extend function. Extend function is same, concatenation only. But if you want to do with operators, you can go with the plus operator also. That is also possible in Python. So here, if you want, you can write L2 is equal to some 7, 8, 9. Then if you write print of L1 plus L2. Here we're using L1 plus L2 means you're concatenating L2 at the end of L1. So the output will be 3, 1, 4, 2, 5. That is the first list. Second list will be 7, 8, 9. Like that you can add the one list at the end of another list by using plus operator also. Okay. And one more point, I said I missed this one. Lists are always mutable objects. Lists are mutable objects. That means you can change the list elements at any point of time. Okay, you can change the list elements at any point of time. Once you assign the value, you can change it. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's about built-in methods available in list. Okay. Now it is possible to write nested lists also. Okay. It is possible to write nested lists. That means one list within the another list. That is also possible in Python. Nested lists. We can write or we can declare one list within the another list. So that is called as nested list here. Okay. Hello. Yeah. Directly see the example here. So here we will take one list. L1 is equal to one list here. So I am writing 1 and A and what we called ABC. And again I am writing another list here. Another square brackets. That means I want to write another list. So I can write 4, 5, 6. Okay. We are writing one list within the another list. This is called as nested list here. Okay. Is it clear? Now, if I want to print this one A, ABC and 4, 5, 6. Now you print avali. Okay. Ela print cheyochu nenu? I want to print all these 4 elements. How I can print? Hello? In output, I want to print L1 of 0 is equal to 1. L1 of 1 is equal to A. L1 of 2 is equal to ABC. L1 of 3 is equal to 4, 5, 6. అలా రావాలి నాకు. అలా రావాలంటే ఏం రాయొచ్చు?
For loop.
Yeah. For loop or you can root while loop. Okay. Any one loop you can choose. Okay. So first I can start with I value as 0 because my index starts from 0. I'm starting I value as 0 and I'm using while loop here. Okay. And this I value starts from 0 up to ఎంత వరకు వెళ్ళాలి 0, 1, 2, 3 అంతే కదా. So here I'm writing length of L1 here. So that how many number of elements I have in the list up to that value, that I value will be repeated. Okay. Now I can write print within double quotations. I can write L1 and I can write square brackets. Okay. And here I can put comma and I and again comma and quotations and square brackets and again quotations. Square brackets is equal to then quotations comma we can write L1 of I. Okay. See here, whenever you want to print any string as it is as output, that should be enclosed in between quotations. So L1 square bracket to quotations followed by I value. Then this would be in the quotations. Okay. Then I value will be incremented. So I can write I plus equal to 1. See the output here. L1 of 0 is equal to 1. L1 of 1 equal to A. L1 of 2 equal to ABC. L1 of 3 is equal to 4, 5, 6. Okay. Like that, you can write the nested lists also. Okay, now. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In that way, we can write nested lists and we can print the elements available in nested lists also. Suppose here I want to print only 5, not remaining elements. I want to print only 5. Then what I have to write? I want to print only 5. What I have to write? Anyone? I want to print only 5. What I have to write?
L1 of 3 of 1.
So here, this is the another list. We are nested in this list 0, 1, 2, 3. This list index is 3. And I want to print the second element. So L1 of 3, 1. So you will get 5 here. Again, this list is having index value 0, 1, 2. Kada. This list is at location 3. This is at 3, 0. This is 3, 1. This is 3, 2. So that we can print L1 of 3, 1. If you get, the output is 5. Okay. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in that way, you can write the nested lists also. Okay. Then the next important one is list comprehension. List comprehension. Anyone having any idea of this? List comprehension? Hello? Anyone having any idea of this? List comprehension?
No, sir.
Yeah, so I will tell you. So generally the list can be created by writing list variable is equal to square bracket some values. Kada? So list comprehension is the simplest way, or Python provides another simplest way to create a computed list. List comprehension. Okay. So whenever you want to create a computed list, that means if you want to compute some values in the list, not directly the values, if you want to compute some values, then you can follow this list comprehension. Okay. This is the simplest way to create computed lists. The syntax for this list comprehension is, we can write a list variable is equal to, within square brackets, you can write expression for variable in sequence, or we can write the range function. Okay. Here you can write a sequence, or you can write the range function. This is the general syntax we can follow for creating a list using list comprehension. Okay. Is it clear? So in the place of expression, you can write any kind of expression, or whatever the values you want to compute. For that, whatever the expression required, you can write the expression here, and followed by for loop for variable name in sequence. You can write either list here, or you can write a string here, or you can write the range function here. Okay. Okay. Now, for example, consider I want to create a list. In that, I want to store the cubes of numbers from 1 to 10. Okay. I want to store cube values of the numbers from 1 to 10. Okay. I want to store cube values of numbers from 1 to 10. So what I'm going to write here is L1, that is my list variable, is equal to square brackets. First end dial mano expression dial. So what I want to compute? Cube value. Am I right? Antena? First for loop radham. For I in, what are the numbers we are having from 1 to 10? So I can get range value as 1, 11. For I in range of 1, 11. For each I value, what I have to compute? I to the power of 3. I have to compute. Antena? I cube. And Python lo we have, this is the exponential operator. I cube kavalante I, this operator followed by 3. Okay. So we are computing for each I value, we are computing I cube. First time I value 1 avutundi, we will get 1 here. Next time 2 avutundi, we will get 8. Then 3, we will get 27. Then 4, we will get 64, like that, up to 10. So if I copy this one and if I write this one in this code, then if I print L1 here, you will get the output as 1, 8, 27, 64 up to 1000. See here, 1, 8, 27, 64, 125, 216, 343, 512, 729 and 1000. Okay, like that you can write the list comprehensions. So whenever you want to compute any value like this and you want to store those values in list, then only you can go for this list comprehension. That's why I told you here to create a computed lists. We are using list comprehension. Okay, within a single line we can create a list here. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can practice some programs on lists. Okay. At the end of this session, I will tell you the programs and you can practice it. Okay. If you don't know, you can ask me in the next session. I will tell you. Yeah, that's about lists. Anybody having any doubts in lists? Anybody having any doubts in lists? Anyone having any doubts in lists? If you have any doubts, please type it in chat box or you can ask directly also. Anyone? Any doubts in lists?
It seems no, sir.
Yeah, no. That means then we can go for the next data structure, that is tuples. Okay. This is the second sequence or second data structure we are going to discuss is tuples. So this tuple is another sequence. Tuple is another sequence in Python in which elements are written, comma separated values between the parentheses. Earlier the list elements we are going to write within square brackets. Am I right? Whereas here the tuples can be written within the parentheses, left parenthesis and right parenthesis. Within this we are going to write the tuple elements. Okay, those are also comma separated list of elements, but we are representing only square here parentheses. The main difference between tuples and lists are mutable objects, whereas tuples are immutable objects. Okay, tuples are immutable objects. That is the major difference between the lists and tuples. Lists are mutable, whereas tuples are immutable. That means once the tuple values has been assigned, it is not possible to modify the tuple values. Okay, tuple elements should not be modified. Okay, now clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So tuples are immutable objects. So to create a tuple, we are going to use the syntax like this. Tuple variable is equal to parenthesis. We can write element 1, element 2, and element 3, so on, so like this. Okay. Tuple variable is equal to element 1, element 2, element 3, like that. Whatever the elements you want to store, those can be specified within the parenthesis. Or sometimes it is possible to create a empty tuple also. So you can write tuple variable is equal to empty. parenthesis like this. Okay, tuple variable is equal to empty parenthesis. It will create an empty tuple. Okay, whereas this will create a tuple with some list of elements. Okay, is it clear? Similar to lists, here also this element 1, element 2, element 3 and element 4, so on. So these elements should be of any kind of types. That may be the numbers or decimal point numbers or strings, whatever you want, or combination of all these things. Also you can use in the tuple elements. See here, if you write T1 is equal to empty parenthesis, and if you print T1, in the output you will get only empty parenthesis. See here, that is the empty tuple we created. Okay, అలా కాకుండా if you want to give some values 1 2 3 4 5, then it will print 1 2 3 4 5 within parenthesis. Okay, like that you can use any kind of values 1 a and abc and followed by some 56.7, anything, any kind of value you can use the tuple values. Okay, okay now, and if you want to store only one element in tuple, if you want to store only one element in tuple, don't write like this t1 is equal to 1 ila raste ganaka, this is not a tuple. If you see the output here, see here, what is the output here? Only one. Tuple means the output should be in between parentheses. ఇక్కడ parenthesis ఉందా? Hello?
No, sir.
Here parenthesis is not there. So this is not a tuple. That means if you are using one element, then that is considered as normal integer object. If you want to check this one, you can write type of T1. The type function is always used to check what type of object you are using. So if you write type of T1, this is the normal integer value. So you would output as class int అని వస్తుంది మీకు output లో. See here, one is printed and class integer. That means this is the integer number, not a tuple. Okay, so అలా కాకుండా if you want to store single element in a tuple, you should write one followed by comma. Okay, if you want to store only one element in tuple, we should use comma operator after the element. Then that one will be tuple. See here, here you have square parenthesis and type of that one is class tuple. Now it is a tuple object. Getting my point or not? If you want to store single element, you should write the element followed by comma operator. Then only it is considered a tuple object. Okay, like this, class tuple. T1 is of type class tuple here. Okay, and like your lists, here also we are going to perform the slicing operation. That means if you want to obtain a set of elements from tuple, we are going to perform this slicing operation. Okay, so directly I can do in this. So I can write 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, so if I write T1 some colon, that means I am not specifying the starting index or ending index. What I will get? I will get the entire tuple here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. If I write something 2 is the starting value and 5 is the ending value, then it starts from 2. That means 0 1 2 starts from 3 up to 4. That means we will get 3 4 5. See here, you will get 3 4 5 here. Okay, hello. And you can use the negative indexes also. You can write -1. That means tuple will be reversed. Same, whatever the operations we did in lists using slicing, then everything is possible with tuple also. T1 : -1 means we'll get the reverse of the list. Ala kakunda, if you write something like this, sorry, you can write 0, some 8 and 2. We will get 1, 3, 5, 7. We are skipping 2 numbers each time. Here the stride value is 2 here. Okay. So that we'll get output as 1, 3, 5, 7. Okay. Like that you can perform the slicing operation by using positive index values or negative index values. Okay. Whatever we did in the lists, the same we can do in the tuples also. Okay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then next one is there are some built-in methods available in tuple. Very less methods are there because tuples are immutable objects. It is not possible to modify the tuple values. So there are only 3 or 4 functions. Hardly. The first function is index. Okay. The first method is index method. This method purpose is to obtain the index of the specified element. If you want to know the index of the specified element, you have to use this index method, or we can say index function. Okay. The syntax for this index function is, we can write tuple variable or tuple object dot index of, we can write element here. Then that particular element index value we can get as output. Okay. This method gives the index of the specified element here. Okay. Then second one is count. This count method we are already used in string objects as well as list objects also. What is the purpose of count function? It counts how many number of times specified element is appeared in a tuple. How many times the specified element is appeared in a tuple. That is written by the count function. The syntax is tuple variable dot count of element. That is the count method. Okay. So let me show you with example. So here, let us write one tuple. T1 is equal to, here I can write A, comma B, comma C, comma D, comma E. I am storing 5 string values, A, B, C, D. Those are not characters, those are strings. Okay. Now I'm writing print of T1 dot index of C. I'm writing T1 dot index of C here. What is the index of C? 2. Output will be 2 here. Okay. Similarly, if you want to count how many times that C will be repeated. Okay. How many times you repeated? Only one time. So we have output as only 1. Okay. Like that we can use the index function and count function. Okay. And there is one more function. The third function, that is zip function. The third function is zip function. So this function takes 2 parameters This function takes two parameters such as sequence 1 and sequence 2. Okay, and this function zips the two sequences, zips them, and returns a tuple of returns a not tuple, list of tuples. So this function takes two parameters, and those two sequences will be zipped, and then those two elements are returned as a list of tuples here. Okay, list of tuples. Okay, for example, let us write one example here. Let us consider T1 is equal to A, B, C, D, E. Kada. Let us consider one more sequence, that is L1. That is also a tuple here. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we are performing print of, or we can write zip of T1 comma L1. Print of zip of T1 comma L1. What is the output here? Nothing is displayed. So let me typecast this one, list of zip of T1. Yeah, now see the output. Yeah, see here. See here. Here we have one tuple T1, A, B, C, D, E. Second tuple is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you zip these two sequences, one is zipped with A, 2 is with B, 3 is with C, 4 is with D, 5 is with E. So you get A1, B2, C3, D4 and E5. This is the list of tuples we are getting. Okay, that is the purpose of zip function. Okay, only we have these three functions available in tuple. Okay. Okay now, because tuples are immutable objects, whereas lists are mutable objects. That's why in lists we have so many functions to modify the list values, to insert, to remove, all the things. But here we don't have any those functions because tuples are immutable objects. Okay, only we have these three functions: index, count and zip. Okay now, and if you want to delete a tuple, okay, generally in tuples it is not possible to delete a specific element. It is not possible to delete a specific element in a tuple or from the tuple, because tuples are immutable objects. It is not possible to delete a specific element, but it is possible to delete the entire tuple. It is possible to delete the entire tuple. మొత్తం tuple delete చేయొచ్చు using delete operation, del operation. Okay, see here. Yeah, see here what I'm going to write. Yeah, here some tuple is there. T1 is equal to A, B, C, D, E. Okay, now if you write like this, del space T1 of 0, that means I want to delete the first element from tuple. Is it possible? Is it possible? Hello?
No, sir.
Yeah. So if you try to do this one, you will get some error. See the error here? Yeah. Tuple object does not support item deletion. See the error here. So it is not possible to delete specific element. Whereas you can write like this, del space T1. That means the entire elements are deleted. Now if you print T1, you will get only empty square bracket, sorry, empty parenthesis. Oh, sorry, that name T1 is not defined. Yeah. So deleted. So that will be deleted permanently from the list. So we will get the name error. Name T1 is not defined. Okay. It is possible to delete the entire tuple using del operation, but it is not possible to delete the any element from the tuple because tuples are immutable objects. Okay, now. And similar to lists, here also we are having some operations. What are the operations we have seen in lists? What are the operations we have seen? Max and min. And what we have seen?
Sum.
And length. The same we are performing in here tuples also. Okay. Cheppan kada, all these 4 operations we are going to perform on almost all data structures in Python. Okay. So I can write max of T1 and print in of T1, and I can write I can write print len of T1. I can print sum of T1. Okay, all these are allowed. So I can get same 5, 1, 5, 15. Maximum is 5, minimum is 1, length is 5, and sum will be 15. What is this question, sir? Why you didn't use square brackets for list? I didn't get this question actually. Why you didn't use square brackets for list? List को ना square brackets से वार्ता हूँ कदा? एकड़ वाड़ लेने ना? Hello? Somebody typed something in the chat box. While performing zip function. While performing zip function, I have taken the 2 tuples, not lists. Okay. Both are tuples. But the name I am using L1. Don't think that there is a list. That is a tuple only. We are taking 2 tuples and we are zipping the 2 tuples here. Okay. Maybe the name choose meeru list muntaru L1 choose. But the name is L1, but it is a tuple. Okay, na? Yeah. Then next, all these 4 operations should be performed on tuples. And here also it is possible to write nested tuples. That means one tuple within the another tuple. It is possible to write. Okay. So we can write like this. T1 is equal to some tuple. We can write 1, some ABC, and some 90. And we can have one more tuple 2 and XYZ and some 80. And the third tuple 3 and GHI and 75. Like that you can write these tuples within the another tuple. This is one tuple, this is another tuple, this is another tuple. These 3 are nested in another tuple. Okay, like that it is possible to write tuples within the another tuple also. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then yesterday we have seen how to read list elements from what we called keyboard. గుర్తుందా ఏమన్నా అది? How to read list elements from the keyboard. What I have written? L1 is equal to square brackets, and for I in range of 1 comma some 6 or 10 తీసుకోండి, then followed by you can write some integer value int of input of something like this, then that will be appended to my list. Am I right? గుర్తుందా నేను రాసింది?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
tuples are immutable objects, so it is not possible to directly read the tuple values from the keyboard. Okay, like this. But there is a one possibility. You can directly read the elements to the list, and you can convert this list into tuple. See here. First, I will write the list here. Okay. Then, if you print this L1, you will get only list elements. So if I run this, I have to give some values. I have given 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. It is a list. Am I right? Okay. Now I want to convert this list into tuple. So I have to use tuple function. T1 is equal to tuple of L1. So this tuple function purpose is, కనిపిస్తుందా? This tuple function purpose is to convert either string or list into the tuple here. Okay, so this L1 is typecasted or converted into tuple here. Now if you print T1, that will be displayed as tuple here. See here, I have to give some values. Suppose I am giving 1, then 4, then 6, then 8, then 9. See here, first one is list, second one is tuple. You cannot directly read the tuple values from the keyboard, but you can read into the L1 and you can convert it into tuple. Okay. Okay, now. Is it clear? And one more point is, and one more point is, we cannot modify the tuple directly. So you can convert tuple into list, and then you can do something modification, and you can again convert it to tuple. That is possible. Okay. Tuple నుంచి list convert చేయాలి అంటే కనుక you have to use list function. See here. Suppose ఇక్కడ tuple ఉంది. Tuple is equal to some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if I want to convert this one to list, ఏం రాస్తారు? L1 equal to list of T1. So that if you print L1, then you will get a list. Within square brackets, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. అర్థమైందా? Now in that list, you can perform the operations. Delete L1 of 2. Then after that, if you print L1, see here, 3 is deleted. So you cannot directly perform the operations or modifications in the tuple, but you can convert tuple into list, and then after this modification, you can convert this what we called list into tuple again. T1 is equal to tuple of L1. Then if you print T1, see here, 1, 2, 4, 5 is tuple. అర్థమవుతుందా? So directly it is not possible to modify the tuple values, but you can convert the tuple into list, and then you can do some operations on list, and again you can convert list into tuple. Okay, that is possible. Okay, are you getting? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's about tuples concept. It's a very small concept because these are all immutable objects, so it is not possible to perform any operations on tuples. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
I'm having a question. I put it in chat box. Can you once?
Yeah. Sir, A is equal to 1 to A is equal to 1 to, again you have sets, that is curly brackets you have.
Dictionary, sir.
Yeah, dictionary. Sets are dictionaries. Yeah. 1 is 1A, 2B. A of 2, 3 is equal to C. Then print A. Sir, is it produce any error? So that means you want to insert at A of 2, 3. But here you are using tuple kada.
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
This is parenthesis kada.
Yes, sir.
So this is not possible.
Actually, I'm getting output with a key of 3 and value C.
3 and
A
C.
key created with 3 and value having C.
You will get
In
entire tuple, 1, 2.
No, in dictionary, sir. In 2 of 3. In tuple, in the second element. In dictionary, we are creating third key.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We're getting output.
We got 3C.
Yes, sir.
Actually, that is not possible. Okay. I will check once and I will tell you. Okay. Generally, that is not possible because tuples are there now, but.
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm having the same doubt. That's why asking, sir.
Yeah, I will check and I'll tell you.
Sure,
Okay.
sir. Thank you, sir.
But in my point of view, that is not possible because tuples are immutable. Okay. Anyway, I will tell you. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank
I
you.
will check once and I will tell you. Yeah. Any more doubts? If you don't have any doubts, I will go for next topic. That is sets. The third data structure in a third sequence in Python language is sets. Okay. So these sets are similar to lists, but difference between lists and sets is does not allow duplicate values, whereas lists will allow duplicate values. Okay. Sets does not allow duplicate values, whereas lists will allow duplicate values. List lo మీరు duplicate రాసుకోవచ్చు. But in sets, it is not possible to write any duplicate values. Even though you wrote duplicate values while printing the sets, those are not displayed. Okay. అర్థమవుతుందా? Sets does not allow any duplicate values. Okay. And we can say these sets are mutable objects. Similar to lists, sets are also mutable objects, and sets can be written within curly brackets like this. Okay. This is also a comma separated list of elements which are enclosed within the curly braces. Okay. So sets are mutable objects and sets are written by using comma separated list of values within the curly braces. So the syntax for this sets is we can write set variable is equal to curly brackets. You can write element 1, element 2, element 3, sorry, so on so. Okay. Here also element 1, element 2, element 3 can represent any kind of data types. That may be numbers or decimal point numbers or strings, whatever you want. You can write. You can write 1, 2, 3, or you can write 1 something A and something ABC. You can write, or something you can write anything. You can write what you can write A and B and C, anything. Okay, any kind of values you can perform on this. You can perform on this sets. Okay. An important point here is sets does not allow any duplicate values. Okay. See here. If I create S1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I print S1, I will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose I am giving here again 2, 3, 4, 5. See the output. What is the output here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even though you are writing duplicate values while printing the sets, the Python interpreter will not print the duplicate values. Okay, those are removed directly by the Python interpreter. Okay. Okay, now. So like that, you can create the sets in Python language. S1 is equal to some set of elements you have to write. Okay, and now directly we are going to see the built-in functions available in Python language. Okay. Built-in methods of sets. Built-in methods of sets. The first method is add method. Add of some x. Okay. This method or this function purpose is used to add a single element. Used to add a single element to the set. Whenever you want to add a single element to the set, that will be done by using this add function. Okay. Single element add cheyali ante ganaka you are going to use this add function. The syntax is s dot add of x, where x is the element and s is the set variable. Or you can write like this, set variable dot add of x, so that whatever element you are passing x, this x will be added at the end directly. Okay. See here, already we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I write s1 dot add of 6, then it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See here, 6 is added at the end. Okay. And sets is a ordered collection of elements. Sets is always ordered collection of elements here. Okay. Then, so add function adds only the single element. Now the second function is update. Second function is update. This function purpose is used to add multiple elements to the set. Multiple elements to the set we are going to add by using this update function or update method. Okay. The syntax for this one is set variable dot update of some set variable. You can write again. This is another set variable. Okay, set variable 2. Set variable dot update of set variable 2. Anagane, this second set contains some elements. Those elements will be added to this set. Suppose if you write s1 dot update of s2 and rasar anukondi, what happened here is whatever the elements you have in set s2, those are added at the end of s1. Okay. Okay, elements in s2 will be added to s1 here. See here, already s1 is there. Now I'm writing s2. Suppose I'm writing S2 is 7, 8, 9. Then I'm writing S1 dot update of S2. If I print S1, we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Clear? So if you want to add single element, you can use add function. If you want to add multiple elements, those multiple elements should be stored in one set, and that set is directly added to another set by using the update function. Okay. Then the third one is remove function or remove method. This is used to remove the specific element from the set. Same as lists. Remove the specific element from the list. Remove of, we can write element here. Okay. What I can write here is set variable dot remove of element, so that that element will be removed from the set. Okay. So see here. So already here S1 is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if I write S1 dot remove of 4, and from the set the element 4 is deleted, so we will get only 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay. Specific element should be deleted from set by using this remove function. Okay. Okay now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And if you pass something 6, S1 dot remove of 6, ఆ సెట్ లో 6 ఉందా? Is 6 available in the set?
No.
No. So if you are using remove function, if you pass the specific element, it is not available in the set, you will get the error. See here, key error. 6 is not there. Okay. Whereas the next function, the fourth function we are going to discuss is discard function. Okay. This discard function is also same as a remove function, but this function does not return any error. Does not return any error if the specified element is not available in the set. Okay. Remove function lo aithe ganaka element lekapota manaku error vastundi, but in the discard function, if the element is not there, then also we will not get any error. We can write like this: discard of element. Okay. If the element is there, that element is removed. If the element is not there, then also it will not show any error. That is the nature of discard function. See here, discard of 6 another. Then it will not show any error. If I print S1, that will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Earlier, by using remove function, it will show the error. Key error is there. That means key error means that key is not available. Okay. But discard function, if the element is there, suppose I'm giving 3, discard of 3 or none, then we'll get 1, 2, 4, 5. If element is there, that will be deleted from the set. But if element is not there, then it will not show any error. Okay. That is the difference between discard and remove function. Both are doing the same operation, but difference is that discard function will not show any errors. Then the next function is pop function. Okay. This will always removes the first element from the set. First element from the set and it returns the removed element. Returns the removed element here. Okay. Pop function or pop method removes the first element from the set and always returns the what we call removed element. So the syntax is set variable dot pop. See here, instead of printing, I'm writing s1 dot pop. Just I'm calling pop function. So always first element is deleted. What is the first element here? 1. So here you will get what is you will get? So here I can print of s1 of pop. So I will get 1 here. What is written here? 1. Return 1 and then meaning deleted element is 1. So pop function always deletes first element and return that element. So if you print s1 dot pop, you will get, and if you print s1, you will get 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 is deleted. Okay, like that you can remove the elements by using any one of these 3 functions, either remove or discard or pop. Okay, by using any one of these 3 functions, you can remove the. And one more function, that is clear function, which will remove all the elements. Which will remove all the elements. Sorry, all the elements in the set. Same as list lage. List lo kuda we have seen the clear function. So set variable dot clear and raster. So ikkada we are going to write s1 dot clear, so that all are deleted. If you print s1, name is not defined, or set we can get like this, set. Okay, Adhamainda? For deletion,
Yes,
we
sir.
have, for deletion we have this many number of ways. Either we can use remove or discard or pop or clear. Okay. Okay now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the remaining function we will see in next session. Okay. And I will give you some questions or programs on lists. Okay. Okay now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Program which reads a list of strings and find out the longest string, or we can say longest word. Okay, longest word in a list of strings. Okay, list lo meeru set of strings store cheyali. Dantloంచి you have to find out the longest word or longest string. That means which string is having the highest number of characters. Okay. And the next program is program to print only even numbers using list comprehension. Print even numbers using list comprehension. And the next one is program to print the following list. The list will be like this: 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, so on so up to 10 ones. Okay, నాకు లిస్ట్ రావాలంటే సింగిల్ 1, 2 ones, 3 ones, 4 ones, up to 10 ones. Okay. Okay na. By doing some operation, you can get the output like that. అంతేగాని don't directly print. డైరెక్ట్గా మీరు ప్రింటర్ రాయకండి. అర్థమవుతుందా? ప్రింట్ ఎఫ్ అని రాసి 1 రాస్తే వచ్చేస్తుంది. నాకు కావాల్సింది అది కాదు. You can take one list and you can perform some operation in that and you have to get the output like that. Okay? రాసుకున్నారా ప్రోగ్రామ్స్?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So our programs practice చేయండి. Tomorrow we will see the remaining methods available in sets and later we will see dictionaries. Okay. After dictionaries we will go for stacks and queues. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Is it clear that today's session is?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yeah.
Sir.
So this doubt I will check and I will tell you. Okay, if you have any doubts, please put in the chat box. I am here to clarify your doubts. Okay. If you don't,
If anyone having any doubts, please unmute yourself and ask your doubts.
sir, dictionaries or what is the question? Sir, dictionaries are mutable, na sir. Then we are changing dictionary, but not the tuple. It is possible, sir. Oh, for that answer, for that question you are giving answer, ah? Okay. Okay, let me check. I will check and I will do that one and I will tell you. Yeah. నాకు అర్థమైంది చెప్పింది, but I will check and I will tell you. Okay. Yeah, I understand 5G6. Yeah, I understand. So I will tell you.
Sir, will you share today's text document, sir?
Yeah, I will share. I will send to that Shubham mail ID.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sir.
Okay, na? Yesterday also I sent the document to Shubham mail.
Yes, sir. We
Yes,
put
sir.
it.
Yeah, I will send to Shubham mail.
If no one having questions, then we wind up the session. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.